A different brand of football has to wait a few weeks for their one day of postseason, but it's going to be a historic day as Eightman Football gets its Jamboree for the first time, November the 3rd, up at Schofield D.C. Everest High School. And one of the teams that's already clinched a spot in that is the Madison Abundant Life Challengers, and their coach, Mark Martinez, joins us here on the Prep Report. Mark, welcome to the show, and congratulations. It looks, at least to me, like you've clinched this Jamboree berth, and is that set in stone, and when do you find out who you play?
Hey, thanks for having us on. We'll find out probably by the end of our season who we'll play. I believe we've qualified, but nothing's done until it's finalized and you see it in paper. They'll rank the top 4 teams from the Northern Conference and the top 4 teams from the Southern, and then pit each other, number 4 against 4, and all the way up to 1 against 1, and hopefully we'll get that top spot.
How has the transition been going, and how are all the players from Abundant Life, or you've been able to co-op with a couple of other smaller schools?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, with the numbers of the enrollment at our school dwindling, we did have to co-op, and we've had a great partnership with St. Ambrose Academy. They actually field about half of our team this year. We do have one kid also from Madison Country Day, and then the other half of the team from Abundant Life as well. So we have about 16, 17 players right now covering 3 different schools.
And Mark, for our listeners, what's different about Eightman Football, both in terms of the way it's played and I guess for you, the way it's coached?
Well, once you look at the game and the game gets going, you really don't notice a lot of difference. But primarily you're taking 2 offensive linemen off and a receiver on the offensive side of the ball. On the defensive side, you take off a lineman, maybe a linebacker and a safety. But you'll still see your bread and butter football that you'll find, in 11-man ball. You'll have your I formations all the way out to spread, and you'll see maybe a 4-2 defense or a 3-3. But it's still, you're still doing a lot of the same things that Sun Prairie's doing in Wanakee. You're running the ball up the gut. You're getting it around the outside with the tosses, and you're trying to throw it a little bit. So it's once you get out there and start playing it, tackling and blocking, just like normal football.
Yeah, it looks as though you were doing a lot of that last week against Green Bay New Lutheran. Is that right? 56-54? Is that a misprint?
No, that was a barn burner. They're a very good football team. They essentially have an all-state basketball team playing 8-man football. They had a lot of height,
That's right.
And they could spread the ball around. So it was a great contest. It was back and forth. We got down 26-6 in the first half, and we were down 38-20 in the second half. But our kids really rallied and believed in themselves and got some momentum going, and we were able to pull that one out.
What's the future? Do you see some more teams being added next year?
Yeah, we've already heard there are 4 or 5 teams that are looking to come on board next year. That's right now. With the way enrollments are going in some of the smaller communities around the state, I could easily see 6 to 10 schools next year coming on board. The WIA is obviously backing us, and they're looking to to get into that 24 to 32 schools playing 8-man that it'll end up being its own division, and they'll sponsor a playoff like the rest of the state has.
Could you play 8-man at Camp Randall? Would that be the ideal place to have it? I know Schofield D.C. Everest is a nice facility, but is the goal at some point to get these kids a chance to do what the 11-player teams are able to do and play that state final there?
Yeah, I think so. I was trying to battle for playing at the McLean Center. They got an 80-yard field there. We could go inside and play. We wouldn't have to worry about the weather, but I think the kids would love to have an opportunity to play at Camp Randall for the state championship and be treated like the others as well. We know it's new. We know it's a little bit different, but again, it's still football, and it's giving the kids an opportunity to play the sport they love.
Now, as the 11-man playoffs get started Friday night, you've got a road game at Stockbridge. You'll close out the regular season a week from Saturday at home against Elkhart Lake Glen Beulah. These bus rides, you've been going to places like Beaver Dam and up to Oshkosh Valley Christian. I know that a couple teams over in the Oshkosh Green Bay area are in your league. How have those bus trips been with the kids?
I'll tell you what, we got a couple of trips up to Green Bay last year. They both came down this year, but we do have long bus rides. We tell the kids, pack a lunch, bring something to read. It's going to be a while, but it's football. We want to get ready to go, so you hop on a bus and we'll play anybody anywhere.
Outstanding. That's Mark Martinez, the head coach of the Abundant Life Challengers. 8-man football, the only team in our area currently playing it, and they're playing it well as they have an unbeaten record going into Friday night's game at Stockbridge. Mark, I appreciate your time tonight. Good luck the rest of the season, and we got to have somebody up there for the history in the making on November 3rd up at DC Everest. So if we don't see you before then, we'll be up there and talk to you there.
Thanks a lot, guys, for having us on. Go Challengers.
All right, the Abundant Life Challengers, 8-man football, of course.